Well, students, we're going to keep working on these dragons today. There is going to be a list up on the screen for you to follow to make sure that we get everything added that needs to be done today. The first thing I would like you to do would just be to check and see if there's any smoothing that needs to be done. Once you have everything smooth, you can set it aside. And there's going to be some extra clay in the middle of your table for each of you to share. A couple things that I would like you to do. I find it easiest to just make some pieces and then attach them. So here I'm going to roll up some pieces to make the eyes first. And I'm going to try to make, they don't have to be the same size. And I'm going to make the outer part and I'm going to make an inside part. So then I have a large piece and a small piece. These little pieces dry out really fast, so just be careful not to spend too much time rolling them up. I am going to think about doing a tongue as well. So I'm going to roll up a little ball of clay like this, and I'm going to roll this out. Now that I have some of these, I'm going to make sure this stays pretty short. I don't want this to be too long because it tends to break off. Once I have the eyes here and I have the tongue, I'm going to attach them. So we know that we need to add some water to make slip, and I'm going to put the eyes on the top. Sometimes students want to put the eyes on the sides. That's fine. I'm going to put mine up on the top. It looks a little bit more cartoon-like. And I'm going to put them here. And I'm going to space them a little bit off the nose. And I'm going to take my stick tool and I'm just going to roll the backs of them down just a little bit. And then I'm going to smooth that with my finger. That's just going to make sure that they stay attached and that they're smooth. So just kind of that rolling of it, of the clay down. You don't have to do that on the front, but definitely do that on the back. Add a little bit of water on the fronts. These can just be taken, if they fall off like that, just press them down. And take this one and stick that on with some slip. Now that I'm holding it like that, because most of the work that I do, it's gonna be, the dragon's gonna be held in my hand. I'm gonna take the stick, one side is pointy, one side is round. Use the round side, and you can just twist it a little bit. That'll give the nose some nostrils. And then if it is a little bit bumpy, just smooth it out a little bit. And then since I have the tongue already here, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna smooth this little part here. Make sure not to bend it too much. And I would always do the tongue before I do the teeth. So I'm gonna take that and I would stick that in. Oh, this might be a better idea. If I take this before I put it in there, if you wanna split it so then it's more like a snake tongue, I just held it in my hand and I cut the end. That'll be easier than doing it once it's in there because it could get broken. It already is wet inside. So I'm just gonna take that and then this part, if it closes back up like this, just press that line back in there. So just be careful, it's not longer than this, so then it doesn't fall off. Now, I'm gonna come back to doing teeth because the things that you definitely need, you need eyes, you need a nose, and you need legs. So I'm gonna move to doing the legs, and I'm gonna come back for some of the other parts. For legs, if you take a piece of clay like this, and I roll it into a ball, add a little bit of water to it, I'm gonna roll it out into a coil. So this is like the size of maybe a large marble. It's not real big. I'm gonna roll it out like this, and then I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna use my whole hand and I'm gonna gently roll it out. So move your artwork over, and I'm just gonna roll this out. Now once I roll it out, you can see it's shorter than this popsicle stick. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna cut them all at the same time. So for me, cutting it about this long, it's about that much space on my finger, about 1 inch. I can take that and then just line it up. And if you roll enough of them, then you can just cut 4. Now, Before I even attach them, I'm gonna take them and I'm gonna bend them into kind of an L shape. I'm gonna set them down. Once I have all of them on the table here, then I will attach them to my dragon. So here, have them all bent. I'm smoothing the ends just a little bit. And I'm gonna take these, I'm gonna put it right here to kind of cover up that space where the head was attached with that little piece of clay. I'm gonna put a little bit of water right here. And instead of putting them like this, I'm gonna lay them like this because there's gonna be more surface area for them to attach. So I press it down to the base here and to the side of the dragon. Then I would do that on the other side, put some water here, take this, put this along the side, press that down to the bottom. Then I could put them back here. I'm gonna choose to put them kind of right in this space. I'm gonna do the same thing. Put a little bit of water right here, take this, and sometimes students will fold them over and smush that part down. I'm gonna leave that up so I can put some scales maybe in between it and extra pieces of clay in between it. So I'm putting a little bit of water there. 1 drop of water is usually enough, and it's nice that this foot fits still on the circle. Now this is what we have to have done today. Eyes, nose, and legs. Now everything else that you make today is extra. So if you want to do teeth, you can do teeth. I'm just going to move this over. This actually would work as a good tooth, just rolling a little piece of clay. You can make it a round tooth. You could just bend it a little bit and then just take a little bit of water, stick it inside, and then take your stick tool, just gonna roll it, press it together so that it doesn't come off. You can even do that on the sides. And then if you make another one, just keep them small, roll it up, just kind of pinch it. But I think round teeth could be pretty cool too. Put a little bit of water in there, stick that down. What else is on the list? If you want to do horns, you could do horns as well. Try to keep these pretty small. I'm gonna do more smoothing on this tooth later to make sure that looks good. I think it looks a little bit bumpy, but we'll move forward. Horns, kind of the same thing. Just roll up a little piece. If you want to roll it on the table a little bit to make it kind of pointy like a cone shape. These usually go well right behind the eye. And then just kind of smooth that out and roll that down just a little bit. And then just make another one that matches. Sometimes students want to make scales or little spikies that go along the back. You may do that. I would just not make too many of them, and I would make sure there's a little bit of space between them. So here I'm gonna do, let's do 3 just to speed this example up a little bit. So we'll smooth that in. So here, if I want to do scales along the back, I'm just going to take some little pieces. I'm going to make 3 at a time. So I just make 1, I'm just going to roll it up, make 1, roll up another one, and I pinch it. But they could be round, they could be like half circles. Roll these up. So these are all extra pieces. You can see if I attach them, I would just put a little bit of water right here. That can stick on here, and then I would just take it and just kind of roll that together, press that down. You can see that they're not really smushed and skinny. I'm gonna also leave a little bit of space. You can see there's about a finger space in between because that gives me enough space to smooth them. I can fit the stick tool in there and smooth that out. And then you can start and just continue carrying that down the back. It almost looks a little bit like more dinosaur-like. So just make sure that you've got enough space in here for your finger for smoothing. Please don't just smush them on. If you're doing not a very good job smoothing things, I might ask you to take some of your pieces off and smooth them better. So just sometimes less is more to do a good job. So this is what I've got. I still have lots more smoothing to do to make this look like my best, but next time we're gonna finish any of the details. We're gonna add lots of designs and textures, so please don't poke any holes in it or do any lines or designs. I'm gonna talk to you about how all the tools work in different ways to make some great scaly textures and to do some cool designs on it. So let's keep working on these. At the end, just take your extra clay, even these little pieces that are under the dragon, just pick those up, set those next to the water cup, and I'm gonna have some directions for you about hand rinsing and getting everything put away. So let's have fun.